The conflict between the United States and Iran has reached a dangerous and potentially irreversible tipping point. What began as a fragile standoff, held together by the thinnest threads of ceasefire negotiations and cautious diplomacy, has now fractured completely. In recent days, international news outlets across the globe have been tracking a rapid and alarming sequence of events in the Gulf of Oman, a waterway that has become the epicenter of one of the most volatile military confrontations the world has seen in years. What is unfolding is no longer a war of words. It is a war of ships, drones, fire, and consequence, and the world is watching. To understand how we arrived at this moment, we must go back to the incident that shattered what little remained of the peace process. On Tuesday, United States naval forces intercepted and seized an Iranian-linked cargo vessel in the Gulf of Oman. The ship, traveling from China to Iran, was reportedly a commercial vessel with no declared military cargo, according to President Donald Trump, who announced the seizure directly on social media. The ship had attempted to bypass an active U.S. military blockade and paid a severe price for doing so. Trump stated that when the Iranian crew refused to comply with orders from the U.S. Navy to halt, American forces responded by targeting a critical component of the ship's engine room, disabling the vessel and bringing it to a full stop. A guided missile destroyer was dispatched to intercept the ship and take control. Trump confirmed that U.S. naval forces subsequently boarded the vessel, placing it under full American military control while an inspection of its cargo was conducted. The incident was swift. It was decisive, and it set off a chain of events that neither side appears fully prepared to contain. Tehran's reaction was immediate and furious. Iranian military officials described the seizure as an act of armed robbery on the high seas, a flagrant violation of international maritime law, and a direct breach of the fragile ceasefire that had been holding the two sides back from open conflict. Iranian officials confirmed that U.S. Marines had boarded the vessel, disabled its navigation systems, and effectively rendered the ship inoperable. They were unequivocal in their response. Iran would not remain silent. Retaliation was not a possibility. It was a promise. That promise was fulfilled within hours. Iran's Tasnim news agency, followed shortly by Iranian state television, confirmed that the Iranian Navy had launched drone attacks on U.S. warships operating in the Gulf of Oman. Iranian naval vessels also reportedly opened direct fire on American ships in the area. In a single escalation, the nature of this confrontation shifted from a maritime standoff to an active armed exchange between two of the world's most powerful military forces. The drone attacks marked a profound and sobering turning point. Iran was no longer issuing warnings. Iran was acting on them. And the implications of that shift, for the region, for global shipping, for the world economy, and for the fragile architecture of international diplomacy, are severe. The U.S. Navy moved quickly following the Iranian strikes. All American naval forces in the region were placed on the highest level of alert. Patrols around the Strait of Hormuz and the broader Gulf of Oman were intensified, with warships repositioned to monitor Iranian military movements across key maritime corridors. The United States made clear through both action and posture that any further aggression would be met with a decisive response. Meanwhile, commercial shipping through the Strait of Hormuz, already severely disrupted by weeks of escalating tension, became even more precarious. Maritime authorities and shipping companies from across Asia, Europe, and the Gulf issued urgent advisories recommending that cargo vessels and oil tankers reduce or entirely suspend passage through the area until the security situation stabilized. For a waterway that carries nearly 20% of the world's oil supply, the consequences of that advisory cannot be overstated. Peace talks between the two sides, which had been scheduled to resume in Tehran in the days following the seizure, were immediately suspended. The negotiating table, already unstable, has now effectively collapsed. Diplomatic channels that took weeks to construct have been severed in a matter of hours. The shockwaves from the Gulf of Oman were felt almost immediately in financial markets around the world. Crude oil prices surged approximately 6%, pushing toward $96 per barrel as traders and analysts processed the growing likelihood that oil shipments through the Strait of Hormuz could face prolonged disruption. The strait is not merely a regional waterway, it is the single most important choke point in global energy supply. Any sustained closure or military interference with shipping through it sends immediate and dramatic ripples through every economy on Earth that depends on oil, which is to say, virtually every economy on Earth. Stock markets reflected the anxiety. The S&P 500 retreated approximately 0.7% after having reached record highs just days earlier. Asian markets were split. Australia fell sharply, while Japan saw modest gains. Bond markets, which had earlier rallied as investors sought safety, reversed course as the scale of the military escalation became clearer. The US dollar recovered slightly from an earlier sell-off as investors moved toward stable assets amid the deepening uncertainty. The message from global markets was unmistakable. The world is watching the Gulf of Oman with deep concern, and it is pricing in the real possibility that this conflict is not going to end quickly. Perhaps one of the most telling indicators of how seriously the region is taking this crisis is what is happening behind the scenes in Washington. The United Arab Emirates, one of the most economically significant nations in the Gulf, has quietly begun emergency financial discussions with U.S. Treasury officials and representatives of the Federal Reserve. At the center of those discussions is a proposed currency swap arrangement, under which the UAE Central Bank would be able to access U.S. dollars directly, a mechanism designed to stabilize the UAE currency and protect its foreign reserves in the event that a full-scale war with Iran triggers a broader financial crisis across the Middle East. Mohammed Bilal, the governor of the Arab Gulf Bank, held direct talks with senior U.S. financial officials in Washington to explore the terms and feasibility of such an arrangement. Both sides were careful to note that these discussions remain in their early stages, that no formal agreement has been signed, and no specific commitments have been made. But the very fact that these conversations are taking place at all speaks volumes about how seriously Gulf nations are preparing for the economic consequences of an extended military conflict. The UAE is not alone in its concerns. Across the broader Middle East, governments, central banks, and sovereign wealth funds are quietly reassessing their exposure to the risk of a prolonged war between the world's largest economy and one of the world's most strategically positioned nations. The question that now hangs over the Gulf of Oman, over every government, every market, every shipping lane, every barrel of oil, is the same question it has always been. Only now it is more urgent than ever before. Can these two sides step back from the edge? Analysts and observers are deeply divided. Some hold out hope that the mutual understanding of what a full-scale military conflict would cost, in lives, in economic damage, in regional stability, will force both Washington and Tehran back to the negotiating table. Others warn that the momentum of events has now taken on a life of its own, that the seizure of the ship, the drone strikes, the direct naval fire, each of these acts carries its own gravity, its own demand for response, its own logic of escalation that is becoming increasingly difficult for either side to interrupt. What is clear is this: the ceasefire is gone. The peace talks are suspended. Weapons have been fired. Ships have been seized. Drones have been launched. And two of the world's most militarily capable nations are now standing face to face in one of the world's most critical waterways, each waiting to see what the other will do next. The Gulf of Oman has become more than a maritime flashpoint. It has become a test of how far two adversaries are willing to go, and whether the world's diplomatic architecture is strong enough to stop them before they go too far.